What if I told you that an ordinary Roosevelt dime hiding in your pocket or an old coin jar could be worth thousands, or in the case of an extraordinary authenticated mint error, even make headlines at auction? Today, we're uncovering 5 incredible Roosevelt dimes from 1980 to 1989, revealing their history, hidden features, collector secrets, and the rare errors that could turn an everyday 10-cent coin into a dream discovery. Don't skip a second. You might recognize a coin you already own. First up, the 1985 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 10-cent coin. But under the right circumstances, a rare example with an unusual mint error or exceptional quality can become the center of attention at major coin auctions. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. Roosevelt played a major role in American history, guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. Because of his support for the fight against polio, the March of Dimes organization became closely associated with him, making the dime the perfect denomination to carry his portrait. Since then, billions of Roosevelt dimes have entered circulation, but only a tiny fraction attract serious collector interest. The 1985 Roosevelt dime, carrying the P mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins generally carried no mint mark, but by 1985, the P mint mark had become standard. Although hundreds of millions were produced, collectors continue searching through rolls because unexpected mint errors can still be discovered decades later. The coin is made using a copper-nickel-clad composition. It contains an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its silver-colored appearance while keeping production costs lower than silver coinage. Its official weight is 2,268 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters. Despite its small size, every detail matters to collectors. Even the smallest variation in strike, mint mark, or die can dramatically affect desirability. Turn the coin over and you'll see the famous torch in the center, representing liberty. An olive branch symbolizes peace, while an oak branch represents strength and independence. The inscriptions, United States of America, One Dime, and E Pluribus Unum, complete the classic reverse design that millions of Americans recognize instantly. But why would anyone pay thousands, or in extraordinary cases much more, for a dime? The answer lies in rarity. Most 1985p Roosevelt dimes are common, but collectors are always hunting for unusual pieces. Major off-center strikes, broad strikes, doubled dies, wrong planchet errors, dramatic die cracks, or other authenticated mint mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a highly desirable collectible. Coins preserved in exceptional mint state condition with brilliant original luster also command much stronger prices than worn examples. Another factor is collector demand. Roosevelt dimes have one of the largest collector communities in the United States. Many collectors attempt complete date and mint sets, while others specialize exclusively in mint errors. Whenever a newly discovered error is certified by a respected grading service, excitement spreads quickly throughout the collecting community. If your 1985p dime shows unusual characteristics, don't clean it. Cleaning removes original surfaces and often reduces collectible value. Instead, examine it carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual mint mark placement, clipped planchets, missing clad layers, off-center strikes, or other obvious abnormalities. Weighing the coin with a precise digital scale can also help identify wrong planchet errors. Condition plays an enormous role in determining value. A heavily circulated coin with scratches, corrosion, or damage usually has little premium. A very fine example has moderate wear but still retains most major design details. Coins graded. Mint state 65, 66 or higher are significantly more valuable because they retain nearly flawless surfaces and original mint luster. Market value depends entirely on the coin's condition and whether it has a genuine mint error. A normal circulated 1985p Roosevelt dime is generally worth only face value or a small premium. Certified high-grade examples can bring higher prices, while dramatic authenticated mint errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Only exceptionally rare and unique error coins could potentially reach extremely high auction prices, and those require professional authentication. If you believe you've found something unusual, consider submitting the coin to a professional grading service. Authentication provides confidence to buyers and often increases collector interest because the coin's condition and authenticity are officially documented. One exciting aspect of coin collecting is that discoveries still happen today. Collectors continue finding overlooked varieties in inherited collections, old piggy banks, bankrolls, estate sales, and pocket change. History proves that remarkable discoveries can remain hidden for decades before someone finally notices them. Imagine finding a coin everyone else ignored simply because they never looked closely. That possibility keeps millions of collectors searching every single day. Every dime has a story, and sometimes that story becomes far more valuable than its 10-cent face value. So before you spend your next Roosevelt dime, take a closer look. Check the date, inspect the mint mark, examine every detail, and compare it with known varieties. The odds of finding a major rarity are small, but remarkable discoveries begin with someone taking a second look. In coin collecting, patience, knowledge, and careful observation often matter more than luck. Your ordinary-looking 1985p Roosevelt dime may simply be worth 10 cents, but if it turns out to be a rare, authenticated mint error or an exceptional high-grade survivor, it could become the hidden treasure that every collector dreams of finding. Next up, the Roosevelt dime carries a rich piece of American history. It first appeared in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of America's most influential leaders, guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He also inspired the fight against polio through the March of Dimes campaign, making the dime a fitting tribute to his legacy. For more than 4 decades after its introduction, the design remained familiar to generations of Americans, including the coins struck in 1987. Your 1987D Roosevelt dime was produced at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located on the obverse near the date. Hundreds of millions of these dimes entered circulation that year, meaning most examples remain common today. However, history has shown that even common date coins can hide extraordinary surprises. Mint errors, unusual die varieties, and exceptionally preserved specimens continue to surface decades after they were made, often discovered in forgotten collections or pocket change. The coin is struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the dime its familiar silver-colored appearance while keeping production practical for everyday circulation. Its official specifications are impressive, despite its tiny size. The coin weighs exactly 2,268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters. Though small enough to fit comfortably on the tip of your finger, every tiny detail can influence its desirability to collectors. On the front appears the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, accompanied by the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date 1987 beside the Denver mint mark. Turn the coin over and you'll find one of America's most recognizable reverse designs. A central torch represents liberty, an olive branch symbolizes peace, and an oak branch stands for strength. These timeless symbols have appeared on Roosevelt dimes for generations and remain beloved by collectors. At first glance, your coin may show scratches, circulation wear, and years of use. Many people assume those signs immediately destroy value. Surprisingly, that isn't always true. Although condition plays a major role, collectors often focus on something even more important: rarity. A circulated coin with a dramatic mint error can be worth far more than a flawless coin without one. So what makes a 1987D Roosevelt dime potentially exciting? Collectors carefully examine these coins for unusual minting mistakes. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, missing clad layers, rotated dies, die cracks, and wrong planchet errors are among the discoveries that generate excitement. These mistakes occurred during production at the mint and are impossible to recreate afterward. Because each genuine error is unique, demand can become extremely competitive whenever an impressive example reaches the auction market. Another important factor is preservation. Cleaning often leaves microscopic scratches and permanently removes natural toning. reducing both eye appeal and market value. The best advice is always simple: never clean an old coin. Collector demand for Roosevelt dimes remains strong because millions of hobbyists build complete date and mint collections. Others specialize exclusively in error coins, searching through thousands of dimes, hoping to discover something no one else noticed. Every year, previously unknown varieties are identified, proving that remarkable discoveries can still happen. If you own a 1987D dime, examine it under bright light using a magnifying glass. Study the lettering, date, mint mark, and edge. Look for doubling, unusual shapes, dramatic strike shifts, missing design elements, or other unusual characteristics. Weigh the coin with a precise digital scale. A different weight than the standard 2,268 grams could indicate a wrong planchet error, one of the most desirable discoveries for modern coin collectors. Because your coin is described as fine and almost circulated, its ordinary market value would generally remain close to face value unless it possesses an important mint error or another exceptional characteristic. Certified high-grade examples bring stronger prices, while dramatic authenticated mint errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Only an extraordinary, professionally authenticated rarity could approach the kind of headline auction prices sometimes discussed online. Authentication is essential. Professional grading services evaluate authenticity, condition, and any mint errors before sealing the coin inside a protective holder. Certified coins inspire confidence among collectors and usually attract stronger bidding than uncertified examples. One of the most fascinating facts about coin collecting is that valuable discoveries continue to emerge from everyday places. Estate sales, inherited collections, forgotten coin jars, old bankrolls, and even loose pocket change have produced astonishing finds. Every experienced collector knows that treasures often remain hidden because nobody bothered to look closely enough. That possibility is what makes the hunt so exciting. Somewhere today, another overlooked Roosevelt dime could be waiting in an old drawer, inside a family piggy bank, or mixed into everyday change. Its owner may have no idea that collectors would eagerly inspect every tiny detail. Before spending your next dime, pause for a moment. Check the date. Find the mint mark. Look carefully for anything unusual. Most coins will simply be ordinary 10-cent pieces, but every great coin discovery began with someone taking a closer look than everyone else. The 1987D Roosevelt dime reminds us that hidden treasures don't always glitter like gold or weigh as much as silver dollars. Sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest mystery. While a typical circulated 1987D dime is not worth $150,000, an authenticated one-of-a-kind mint error could become the centerpiece of a major collection. That's why collectors continue searching through millions of ordinary dimes every year, because the next incredible discovery may already be hiding in plain sight. Next up, the Roosevelt dime has represented American history since 1946. It was introduced shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt to honor one of the nation's most respected leaders. Roosevelt guided the United States through the Great Depression and World War II while inspiring millions through his determination despite living with polio. His connection to this March of Dimes campaign made the dime the perfect tribute to his remarkable legacy. By 1980, the Roosevelt dime had become one of the most recognizable coins in America. Millions passed through the hands of shoppers, workers, and families every single day. Because so many were produced, most people assumed they would never become valuable. Yet history has repeatedly shown that even common date coins can surprise collectors decades later. The 1980 Roosevelt dime carrying the P mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Interestingly, Philadelphia coins traditionally carried no mint mark until 1980, when the Mint began placing a P on circulating dimes for the first time. That makes 1980 amperes significant year in the Roosevelt dime series, because it marks the debut of the Philadelphia mint mark on this denomination. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. This construction gives the dime its familiar silver appearance while making it durable enough for everyday circulation. Its official weight is 2,268 grams. The diameter measures 17.91 millimeters, and the thickness is approximately 1.35 millimeters. Although it is one of the smallest coins in American circulation, its tiny size hides remarkable precision in every detail of its design. The obverse features President Roosevelt's portrait alongside the word liberty, the national motto "In God We Trust," the date 1980, and the historic Philadelphia P mint mark. On the reverse, a torch symbolizes liberty, while the olive branch represents peace and the oak branch stands for strength and independence. These timeless symbols have remained part of the Roosevelt dime for generations. Your coin may appear almost circulated with scratches, discoloration, and signs of age. Some collectors even describe old environmental damage as looking rusty, although the coin itself cannot rust because it contains no iron. While such wear generally lowers value, collectors know that appearance alone never tells the complete story. What truly matters is rarity. Among the millions of ordinary 1980p Roosevelt dimes, collectors search tirelessly for unusual mint errors. An off-center strike, dramatic doubled die, clipped planche, broad strike, rotated die, missing clad layer, or wrong planche error can transform an everyday coin into an exciting collector's prize. These minting mistakes occurred during production and cannot be recreated later, making authenticated examples highly desirable. Another important factor is originality. Experienced collectors prefer coins that have never been cleaned. Cleaning removes natural surfaces, creates fine scratches, and permanently damages collector appeal. Even if your dime looks dull or dirty, leaving it untouched often preserves more value than polishing it. Collector demand for Roosevelt dimes remains strong because many hobbyists build complete date and mint collections spanning decades. Others specialize exclusively in mint errors, examining thousands of coins under magnification in hopes of discovering something previously overlooked. Every year, surprising discoveries prove that valuable varieties can still be hiding in circulation. If you own a 1980p Roosevelt dime, inspect it carefully under bright lighting. Use a magnifying glass to study the date, mint mark, lettering, and edge. Look for doubling, unusual strike alignment, clipped edges, missing design elements, die cracks, or anything that appears different from a normal dime. A precise digital scale is another valuable tool. If the coin weighs significantly more or less than the standard 2,268 grams, it could deserve further professional examination. Although your example is described as fine and almost circulated, a normal coin in this condition would generally have little premium over face value. However, authenticated mint errors, dramatic striking mistakes, and exceptional certified examples can command far stronger prices. Only an extremely rare one-of-a-kind error could potentially approach the extraordinary auction values sometimes mentioned online. Professional grading is one of the most important steps for any potentially valuable discovery. Reputable grading companies authenticate the coin, assign a condition grade, identify mint errors, and seal it inside a protective holder. Certification gives collectors confidence and often increases market interest. One reason coin collecting continues to fascinate millions of people is that incredible discoveries never completely stop. Rare coins have been found inside inherited collections, forgotten dresser drawers, estate sales, old coffee cans, bankrolls, and even loose pocket change received at grocery stores. Every remarkable discovery begins with someone deciding to examine an ordinary-looking coin instead of spending it. Imagine how many 1980p Roosevelt dimes have already disappeared into vending machines without anyone noticing a rare mint error. Somewhere, someone may have unknowingly spent a remarkable coin simply because they assumed every dime was identical. That possibility keeps collectors searching every single day. Before you spend your next Roosevelt dime, slow down and take a closer look. Check the date, inspect the mint mark, examine the strike, and compare it with known varieties. Most coins will remain ordinary, but every legendary coin discovery started with curiosity and careful observation. The 1980p Roosevelt dime teaches an important lesson. Hidden treasure doesn't always shine like gold or sparkle like silver. Sometimes it hides inside a tiny 10-cent coin that millions of people overlook every day. While a typical circulated 1980p dime is not worth $169,000, an extraordinary authenticated mint error could become a centerpiece of a serious collection. And that is exactly why collectors never stop searching. because the next life-changing discovery could already be waiting in someone's pocket change. Next up, one coin that continues to attract the attention of collectors is the 1986 Roosevelt dime with the Denver D mint mark. At first glance, it looks like just another 10-cent coin. It may have scratches from circulation, signs of age, and years of everyday use. Yet experienced collectors know that appearances can be deceiving. Sometimes an ordinary-looking coin hides an extraordinary story. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in American history. Roosevelt guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, while inspiring millions with his determination despite battling polio. Because of his strong connection to the March of Dimes campaign, the United States selected the dime to carry his portrait, creating one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. By 1986, Roosevelt dimes had become one of the most common coins in circulation. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of them, each carrying the small D mint mark beside the date. While most examples remain ordinary, collectors understand that rare minting mistakes can appear even during enormous production runs. Those unexpected errors are what makes searching through old coins so exciting. The 1986 D Roosevelt dime is struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers contain 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a solid copper core. This construction creates the familiar silver-colored appearance while making the coin durable enough for decades of everyday circulation. Despite its small size, the coin is manufactured to exact specifications. It weighs 2,268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters. Every fraction of a gram matters because unusual weights can sometimes indicate a rare wrong planchet error. On the front of the coin appears the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, along with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the date 1986, and the Denver mint mark. The reverse displays a burning torch representing liberty, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and an oak branch standing for strength and independence. This elegant design has remained a favorite among collectors for generations. Your example is described as almost circulated with scratches and extremely fine condition. That means the coin still retains much of its original design detail despite moderate wear. Many collectors appreciate extremely fine coins because major features remain sharp while the coin still reflects its history and circulation. One phrase often appears online regarding modern Roosevelt dimes: large date. Unlike some U.S. coin series, the 1986 D Roosevelt dime is not widely recognized by major numismatic references as having an established large date and small date variety. If someone claims a large date variety, it should be verified carefully before assuming it is a recognized collectible variety. So what could make a 1986 D Roosevelt dime truly valuable? The answer lies in genuine mint errors and exceptional preservation. Collectors actively search for doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, missing clad layers, rotated dies, die cracks, and wrong planchet errors. These mistakes occurred during the manufacturing process and cannot be duplicated after the coin leaves the mint. When authenticated, dramatic errors can attract intense collector interest. Another important factor is originality. Even if your dime appears dull or dirty, resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning permanently alters the coin's surface, removes natural toning, and often lowers its collectible value. Professional collectors almost always prefer untouched original surfaces. Collector demand for Roosevelt dimes remains consistently strong because thousands of hobbyists attempt complete date and mint collections. Others focus entirely on error coins, searching through bankrolls and inherited collections hoping to uncover a previously unnoticed rarity. Every year, newly discovered errors remind collectors that remarkable finds are still possible. If you believe your 1986 D dime is unusual, inspect it carefully under bright lighting using a magnifying glass. Look closely at the mint mark, date, lettering, and edge. Search for doubling, strike misalignment, clipped edges, die cracks, or missing design elements. Weigh the coin with a precise digital scale. Any significant difference from the standard 2,268 grams could justify further professional examination. Although your coin is described as extremely fine, a normal circulated 1986D Roosevelt dime generally carries little premium over face value. Higher values are associated with certified mint state examples or authenticated mint errors. Only an exceptionally rare, professionally verified error coin could potentially achieve the extraordinary auction prices sometimes promoted online. Professional grading plays a major role in determining value. Independent grading services examine authenticity, identify mint errors, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin for long-term protection. Certified coins often command greater trust and stronger demand in the marketplace. The most exciting part of coin collecting is that incredible discoveries continue to happen. Valuable coins have been found inside inherited collections, forgotten coffee cans, estate sales, old piggy banks, and even everyday pocket change. Every major discovery started with someone deciding to look carefully instead of assuming every coin was ordinary. Imagine how many Roosevelt dimes have already been spent without anyone noticing a rare mint error. Somewhere, a remarkable coin may still be sitting unnoticed in a cash drawer or mixed into a handful of change. That possibility keeps collectors searching every single day. Before spending your next dime, take a moment to inspect it. Check the date, identify the mint mark, examine the strike, and compare it with known varieties. Most coins will simply be ordinary 10-cent pieces, but every legendary numismatic discovery began with someone taking a closer look than everyone else. The 1986D Roosevelt dime reminds us that hidden treasures are not always made of gold or silver. Sometimes they are small, humble coins that millions of people overlook every day. While a typical 1986D dime is not worth $175,000, an extraordinary authenticated mint error or unique specimen could become a prized collector's item. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge, patience, and careful observation are what turn ordinary pocket change into unforgettable discoveries. Next up, today's coin is the 1989 Roosevelt dime with the Philadelphia P mint mark. At first glance, it seems like just another everyday dime. It may look dusty from years of storage, scratched from decades of circulation, and worn from passing through countless hands. Most people would never think twice before spending it. But experienced collectors know that hidden treasures often look completely ordinary until someone notices an unusual detail. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt served as president during the Great Depression and World War II, helping guide the United States through some of the most difficult years in its history. He was also closely connected to the March of Dimes campaign, which raised money to fight polio. Because of that connection, the U.S. Mint chose the dime to carry his portrait, creating one of America's most recognizable coin designs. By 1989, Roosevelt dimes had become one of the most common coins in circulation. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of them, each carrying the small P mint mark beside the date. Although enormous numbers were produced, collectors continue searching through these coins because unusual mint errors can still be discovered decades after they left the mint. The 1989 P Roosevelt dime is struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers contain 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its familiar silver-colored appearance while providing the durability needed for everyday circulation. Despite being one of the smallest circulating U.S. coins, it is manufactured with remarkable precision. The official weight is 2,268 grams, the diameter measures 17.91 millimeters, and the thickness is approximately 1.35 millimeters. Every measurement matters because unusual size or weight can sometimes indicate a rare minting error. The obverse features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Together with the word liberty, the national motto "In God We Trust," the date 1989, and the Philadelphia P mint mark. The reverse displays the famous torch representing liberty, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. These classic symbols have remained part of the Roosevelt dime for generations. Your example is described as almost circulated, fine condition, with scratches, dust, and a rusty appearance. It is important to know that Roosevelt dimes cannot actually rust because they contain no iron. What appears to be rust is usually dirt, environmental staining, oxidation, or discoloration caused by long-term storage. While this generally lowers the value of an ordinary coin, collectors never judge a coin by appearance alone. The real excitement begins when a coin displays something unusual. Collectors search 1,989p Roosevelt dimes for doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, missing clad layers, die cracks, rotated dies, and wrong planchet errors. These genuine mint mistakes occurred during production and cannot be duplicated afterward. Because each significant error is different, authenticated examples often attract intense interest whenever they appear at auction. Condition also matters. Extremely well-preserved coins with original mint luster can command much stronger prices than heavily worn examples. At the same time, a circulated coin with a dramatic mint error may be worth much more than a flawless coin without one. That is why experienced collectors examine every coin carefully before deciding whether it deserves professional evaluation. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is cleaning their coins. A shiny coin may look attractive, but cleaning permanently damages the original surface. Tiny hairline scratches left by polishing can dramatically reduce collector interest. If you believe your coin might be unusual, leave it exactly as it is until an expert has examined it. Collector demand for Roosevelt dimes remains strong throughout the United States. Some collectors build complete date and mint collections, while others specialize entirely in modern mint errors. Thousands of rolls are searched every year because remarkable discoveries continue to happen. Coins overlooked for decades sometimes become exciting finds simply because someone finally noticed an unusual feature. If you own a 1,989p Roosevelt dime, inspect it under bright lighting with a magnifying glass. Study the date, mint mark, lettering, and edge. Look for doubling, strike shifts, clipped edges, die cracks, missing design details, or anything that appears different from a normal dime. A precise digital scale can also help. If the weight differs noticeably from the standard 2,268 grams, the coin may deserve further investigation. Although your coin is described as fine and circulated, a normal 1,989p Roosevelt dime is generally worth only face value or a small premium. Higher prices are associated with certified high-grade coins or authenticated mint errors. Only an extraordinary, professionally verified error coin could potentially approach the remarkable auction figures sometimes mentioned online. Professional grading is one of the most important steps for any potentially valuable coin. Independent grading services confirm authenticity, assign an official grade, identify mint errors, and seal the coin in a protective holder. Certification gives collectors confidence and usually increases buyer interest. One reason coin collecting continues to fascinate millions of people is that amazing discoveries still happen today. Valuable coins have been found inside inherited collections, forgotten piggy banks, estate sales, old coffee cans, bank rolls, and even ordinary pocket change. Every legendary discovery began with someone taking a closer look instead of assuming every coin was ordinary. Think about how many 1,989p Roosevelt dimes have already been spent without anyone checking them carefully. Somewhere, a rare mint error may still be hiding in a cash register, tucked away in a coin jar, or resting unnoticed in someone's wallet. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching year after year. Before you spend your next Roosevelt dime, pause for a moment. Check the date. Find the mint mark. Examine every detail under good lighting. Compare it with known error varieties and never clean it before seeking expert advice. Most coins will simply remain ordinary 10-cent pieces, but every great numismatic discovery began with curiosity and careful observation. The 1,989p Roosevelt dime reminds us that hidden treasure doesn't always glitter like gold or shine like silver. Sometimes it hides inside an ordinary-looking coin that millions of people overlook every day. While a typical circulated 1,989p dime is not worth $140,000, a truly extraordinary authenticated mint error could become the centerpiece of a world-class collection. That is why experienced collectors never stop searching, because the next incredible discovery could be waiting in the very next handful of change. Before you spend another Roosevelt dime, take one last look. It could be hiding a rare collectible. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.